I've been looking into this case, and the more I dig, the more questions I have. So what's going on out there in the Mogollon Rim? So many people have gone missing, and why is it that the Association of the National Park Rangers keep brushing these disappearances under a rug?
I agree. It's very odd. So one of our sources, which we can't publicly identify, has sent me these transcripts. Here it goes. Near the Mogollon Rim in Arizona, one of America's most beautiful and remote national forests, lies a mystery that has baffled investigators, tourists, and locals for over a century. Over the past few decades, reports of missing hikers, campers, and families have increased at an alarming rate, vanishing without a trace in this vast wilderness. The Association of National Park Rangers, ANPR, has consistently denied any link between these cases, dismissing the disappearances as tragic accidents or natural occurrences. But those who've been close to the investigation knew better. The bodies, when they were found, were mutilated beyond recognition, often in places that seemed impossible to reach without specialized equipment. The cause of death was always the same: blunt force trauma, as if these people were attacked by something with inhuman strength. Rumors spread through the local communities, theories of serial killers, wild animal attacks, even alien abductions. Yet none of these explanations could account for the chilling consistency, the lack of struggle, the way the search dogs would pick up a scent, only to stop suddenly, whimpering in fear, or how bodies would be discovered miles from where they were last seen.
And no signs of a struggle, right? That's pretty odd. That doesn't sound like an animal attack.
Exactly, which leads us to the heart of this story. The locals whispered about an ancient creature, a cryptid they called the Mogollon Monster, a half-man, half-beast that walked on two legs, towering over the trees. Native American tribes spoke of this creature for generations, describing it as a guardian of the sacred lands, neither good nor evil, but something to be deeply respected and feared. In 2008, the mystery took a dark turn when a family of four, a mother, father, and their two children, went missing during a camping trip. Days turned to weeks, weeks to months, and then years with no explanation. The park rangers wrote it off as another case of a family getting lost in the wilderness, but the people knew that wasn't the truth. Something had taken them. The brother of the missing father, Michael, a seasoned sniper with 2 tours under his belt, was consumed with rage when he learned of their disappearance and the long history of unsolved cases in the area. He couldn't stand the thought of these tragedies being brushed under the rug. When he realized that no one was willing to acknowledge what was happening, he decided to take matters into his own hands.
But if it's a guardian, why all the disappearances? What's driving it to attack, if that's what's happening?
Good question. Maybe we will find out.
The family that went missing, the father, his brother, Michael, he was ex-military, right? What branch?
The Army Rangers, and I believe he was still active duty. Michael reached out to 2 close friends from his battle days, both experienced rangers like himself. They agreed to join him on a mission to hunt whatever was lurking in those forests. Armed with their military training, they gathered their gear and made their way to the Mogollon Rim. They parked their vehicle miles away on a forgotten dirt road and set off on foot into the wilderness. Michael had marked a map with all the reported disappearances, highlighting areas with high concentrations of missing persons. At the center of these clusters was a mountain that offered the perfect vantage point. They climbed to its peak, set up their scopes, and waited. As the hours passed and dawn began to break, they heard it, a woman's scream echoing through the forest. Descending quickly, they followed the sound to a ravaged campsite, its tent shredded as if by something not quite human. Large, humanoid tracks led away from the site, deeper into the forest. They tracked the prints until the trees opened up into a valley with a clear line of sight. Michael set up his sniper, scanning the area. When he caught a glimpse of it, a massive figure, running on 2 legs at incredible speed, vanishing into the dense brush near the base of 2 converging mountains. They saw the entrance to a cave, partially hidden by the foliage. This was where it had gone, where it was hiding, The plan was simple. Set up a perimeter, each man covering a different angle. The hours crept by. The sun dipped below the horizon, and then they heard it again. The blood-curdling screams coming from the cave. Michael signaled his team and moved closer to the entrance. As he approached, the screams stopped suddenly, and from the darkness, a monstrous figure charged at him with inhuman speed. All three rangers opened fire, their bullets tearing through the night, but the creature wouldn't go down until Michael's shot found its mark. A direct hit to the head. The beast collapsed to the ground. As they examined the massive body, they realized it wasn't just some wild animal. It looked like a Neanderthal, only larger, at least 7 feet tall, with a muscular build that seemed impossible. They ventured deeper into the cave, weapons raised. What they found inside was worse than they could have imagined. The cave floor was littered with human bones, arranged in disturbing patterns as if left as offerings. And then they saw them. 4 more of these monstrous beings, standing guard over 2 terrified campers, bound at the back of the cave. These creatures, now armed with long spears, rushed the rangers with unnatural speed. The team unleashed a hail of bullets. When the smoke cleared, all but one of the creatures lay dead. The last one had thrown its spear, impaling one of Michael's friends, narrowly missing his heart. They then emptied their magazines into the thing's skull. After securing the wounded ranger, they helped the 2 surviving campers out of their bindings. As they were preparing to leave, Michael noticed something glinting in the dim light of the cave. A tactical watch, the same one he had given his brother for his birthday. His heart sank as he realized that his brother had been here, in this hellish place. As they emerged from the cave, the scene was suddenly flooded with lights. Black helicopters descended, and men in advanced tactical gear surrounded them. These operatives wore no insignia, no badges, nothing to indicate who they worked for. They moved with a precision that screamed military, but not the kind Michael had ever known. They seized control of the area, ordering the rangers to stand down. The 3 men were taken to a remote facility and forced to sign non-disclosure agreements under the threat of imprisonment, or worse. The government agents made it clear that if they spoke about what they had seen, their families would suffer the consequences. Rumors began to circulate that these creatures were not just cryptids, but some kind of hybrid, part Sasquatch, part human. Theories emerged that they might have been the result of secret experiments or mutations hidden from the public eye. The locals whispered that this was no isolated incident, but part of something much larger, a cover-up that had been going on for decades.
This makes me wonder, what else are they hiding? How many more of these creatures could be out there?
We may never know the truth about what Michael and his team encountered near the Mogollon Rim. It remains in the conspiracy realm. It was supposed to never officially come out, and it still technically hasn't. It still remains classified to this day. Those who dare to ask too many questions are met with silence, or worse, they simply disappear. And somewhere, deep in the forests of Arizona, the Mogollon monster is still out there, guarding its territory, watching, waiting.